Thank you. First of all, I also want to say thank you to Member Washington for always having the heart to speak to issues in his community. I also wanted to speak to a teacher that we lost, River Hills Elementary. There is a GoFundMe for a teacher who did pass away of COVID a few days ago. Charlene Laws was her name. And I just wanted to say thank you to Charlene and our condolences to her family. And if anyone wants to go support the family, there is a GoFundMe on social media that you can find. Also, I want to say thank you to all of our teachers, our staff members, our admins, our bus drivers, cafeteria workers, janitors who are working so hard. I know that this is challenging, and as board members in the district, we're getting so much frustration and anger. I can only imagine on the school level, trying to accommodate our students and educate our students and do your job and deal with what we're doing. I really want to say a heartfelt thank you and that you guys are all my heroes. And then finally, I really wanted to ask Mr. Porter, because I'm getting a ton of questions about the mask policy that we did enact. Since we only did it for 30 days under emergency order, from my understanding, we would have to, at the end of the 30 days, do another emergency order if we don't take the steps to make this an actual policy with the 2 hearings. So for all of the questions I'm getting, can you please clarify that if the action that we've taken now, if we don't do anything else at the end of the 30 days, what our options are?
So yeah, you enacted your mask mandate with a parental opt-out requiring a doctor's note under the Florida statute that allows you to declare an emergency or recognize an emergency and take immediate steps to address the emergency. The way this board felt the best way to address that emergency was to enact, again, a mask mandate for 30 days with a parental opt-out that does require a doctor's note. The statute, because it is an emergency, doesn't allow you to renew that action. It allows you to do it for up to 90 days. This board only did it for 30 days. So the best legal advice I can give you is that it wouldn't be possible to renew it unless there was a fresh emergency that you would have to declare. So in order to make the mandate go beyond 30 days, you would need to do it as a regular policy, which requires official notice, approximately 21 days to do that. So if the board wanted to go in that direction, you could give direction to Ms. Davis to advertise as part of your policy round that's scheduled to come before this board on September 21st. September 21st. And that advertisement is going to run on Sunday, and you could add this to it, and then you could discuss it and make a decision. You wouldn't be making a decision now. There are a lot of moving parts to this. As you know, as I advised you the last time, there are real serious legal risks with what you did, because other counties have done this and the state has told them they're not in compliance with the governor's executive order and the Department of Health's emergency rule. So we did it as an emergency. Doing it as a regular policy does create significant legal risks as well. But that would be your option to see if you wanted to do it in September. There are lawsuits happening right now with the mask mandate from other counties. A group of parents sued, and that is being heard in Leon County. They anticipated it being done today. It was not. It will continue tomorrow. Broward County has responded to the state but has not filed a formal challenge. And this district has not received any word from Tallahassee about what Tallahassee's response is going to be to what your emergency rule is. There are at this point 8 other counties who have done something very similar to Hillsborough, and only Broward and Alachua have received any sort of guidance or further guidance or communications from Tallahassee. So those are all sort of the things that are out there that if you wanted to consider it, you would need to give some direction at this point.
Can I ask an additional question? In your professional opinion, are you more concerned legally if we enacted an actual policy with the 30 days, or trying to extend an additional emergency policy at the end of the 30 days? Which one are you more concerned with legally?
I think the extension of the emergency policy. It's I could make a legal argument that because you have a total of 90 days to do an emergency policy and you only chose 30, that there would be 60 days left on that clock. But the way the statute is worded, it says maybe up to 90 days and may not be renewed. So I think there's a risk there that if you tried to do it, unless there was a fresh emergency that you could articulate, given that the numbers were greater or whatever emergency really was present. So that, to me, is the greater legal risk. They both have risks. And again, I think we would have more information. We'll have more information as time progresses and the judge rules in the Leon County case.
And then one final question. If we were to do the notice and bring the policy forward, we could always at that time, if we didn't want to extend it, vote no on that.
Correct.
And the policy wouldn't go forward, but at least it would give us that option if we needed to. That would be your best advice for extending
That's
this.
correct.
Okay, thank you. And would we need to decide that tonight?
Yes.
Okay.
And you cannot make a substantive motion tonight because nothing's on the agenda. But if you wanted to give direction to Kristen to advertise for a policy, then that could be a direction you could give. But you can't make a motion to extend the mask mandate at this point. That's not appropriate.
So how would we get consensus to give Ms.
Well, I think you could make a motion to include it as an advertisement for the policy.
Okay. So can I make that motion to
Yes.
to include it in the advertisement for the
Yes.
policy? So I am making that motion to include it in the advertisement as a policy. I guess I would need to see if I could get a second.
Okay, at this point, there's not a second, so that motion dies. And again, board members will continue to monitor this situation, and if numbers change and they go up and the state gives certain direction, then we can always revisit the issue in an appropriate legal manner.
Indeed, that it may have to be revisited and reevaluated. Thank you, Mr. Porter.